My name's Fiona Wollocombe, and for those of you I've not yet met, I'm the chairman of Maven Renovar VCT. I've chaired VCTs for over 20 years, and I bring with me a wealth of experience in this sector. Over those 20 years or so, I've successfully changed VCT management mandate, I've overseen the mergers of 2 sets of VCTs, and I've successfully wound up an AIM VCT. I'd like to take a moment of your time, if I may, to speak to you about some of the important events which are happening in your VCT in the coming weeks. This month, you're being asked to vote on a series of requisitions put forward by the former manager and a group of other shareholders who, with just 5% of the voting share capital, are now seeking to exert control over your company. You should by now have received a detailed circular for shareholders, which was posted on the 21st of July, and which I would encourage you to read before you cast your vote. With a deadline coming up of August the 11th for voting, or earlier for those of you who hold shares via a platform or a nominee, this is a very important moment for shareholders. Every shareholder vote matters, and this is why I wanted to speak to you directly. It's a critical function of an independent board to hold to account the investment manager, and if necessary, to replace them. This, regressively, is what happened with Amati, where over a period of time your board increasingly lost confidence, not just in the financial performance of Amati, but also in its ability, leadership, resource and lack of vision to resolve its problems. In 2023, shortly after I took over as chair, the board began lengthy discussions with Amati, which sought to address the VCT's underperformance in the context of the wider challenges facing the AIM market. Of particular concern was Amati's move into unquoted pre-IPO investments without the necessary resource or any demonstrable private equity expertise. By March 2024, it was evident that Amati's performance was significantly lacking. The board had a duty to act, and they launched a public strategic review in full collaboration with Amati, the manager. This was thorough, detailed and transparent. During the formal strategic review, Amati and a number of candidates were invited to submit proposals to manage the VCT. A comprehensive and detailed analysis was conducted by the board and its advisors, following which the board made the very difficult but necessary decision to move the investment mandate to Maven. During this process, shareholders were not only consulted, but many proactively reached out to the board and to the manager with their views. Unfortunately, there's no perfect way to consult a vast and varied shareholder base where no one shareholder holds more than 1% of the shares. It's not possible to take decisions that will keep every individual shareholder happy, but that does not mean that the board has not consulted them or considered their interests as part of the whole. Maven not only demonstrated the ability to manage an AIM portfolio, but more importantly that they had the strategic capability, they had the investment pipeline and resources to generate better returns for shareholders. Changing an investment manager is one of the key functions of an independent board. The board is entrusted by its shareholders to make this decision on behalf of shareholders without a shareholder vote. We believed at the time, and we continue to believe, that deciding to change the company's manager was in the best interest of shareholders as a whole. We are pleased with the progress Maven is making, and we'd like to acknowledge their waiving of the management fees for 2 years, which we believe is an important gesture of long-term commitment to shareholders. Maven's appointment was not tied to a change of investment policy, and Maven has been managing the portfolio under the company's existing policy since their appointment. The board did give shareholders the opportunity to vote on a change to its investment policy at the VCT's recent AGM. The vote did not pass, and the board fully respects this outcome. The VCT's investment policy does, however, already allow for a degree of unquoted pre-IPO investments, and Maven's AIM and private equity experience and their resources mean they are well placed to deliver for shareholders. The board and Maven are firmly of the view that the VCTs should continue to invest. This is one of, if not the only key difference between our vision for the future of the VCT and the proposals being put forward by the former manager and other requisitioning shareholders. We know that many shareholders do want to remain invested in the VCT. New investments provide an opportunity to generate better returns for those shareholders, but more importantly, it does not prevent cash from being returned to other shareholders where appropriate. I believe the appointment of Maven, an excellent and highly respected investment manager with all the expertise needed to navigate these challenging times, will serve shareholders well in the future. I'm also pleased to note that two highly capable, independent and experienced new directors, Nita Patel and Robert Leggett, have joined the board. Neither of them were involved in the decision to change manager, but both remain committed to working with the board and Maven going forward. I would therefore ask you as shareholders to stand with us, the current independent board, and vote against the requisition to allow the Maven Renovar VCT to focus on a brighter future.